Hi, I'm Christian Gaddis, and for the very first episode of On Site, I'm hanging with Pastor Giles at Viridi to talk about how they're changing the game in workforce development. Pastor Giles, thank you so much for joining us on the first episode of On Site. We're super excited to be here. We're super excited to be on the floor at Viridi, and I would love for you just to tell us a little bit about Viridi, what you all do.
It's amazing. It's a energy storage company, and we found a way, through our leader John Williams, the CEO, to how to do this, how to store this energy safely. That's been the biggest challenge for this lithium battery storage component. There's about 386 of these goes into the battery pack.
Oh wow!
Right. So that's a lot of energy. In that lies the solution. Is the chemical that prohibits propagation if a cell happens to erupt. In that, that what's in these solutions is a solution that prevents propagation.
Yeah.
And if you prevent propagation, then you won't get thermal runaway. This now has the ability to go inside of a building for the first time, right? To go inside of a building safely. So this is very unique. It's technologically advanced, and we also, so it's not just the industry what we're doing in terms of that being forward, but also the way that we do hiring, the way that we train employees, the way we engage employees, our personnel, and the kind of things that we do with them, right, is also unique as a manufacturing company goes.
So tell me a little bit more about the hiring practices, your role in that, and what it means to be centered in the heart of a community like Buffalo's Eastside.
So one of the significant things is, like, this was the old American Axle plant, General Motors plant, on the east side, directly almost in the heart of the east side. And when it closed, it had a huge economic impact on the city because a lot of individuals that lived in the area worked here. So now it's sit dormant for about 15 years. And so John started this business, and he says to me, he said, "Pastor, I want to hire people from this community." And that struck me as very unique. So we created a company called Green Force, a not-for-profit called Green Force, which would do specialized training for individuals to prepare them for this industry, this type of manufacturing industry, and train them about not only in the technical aspect, but some of the practical aspects. We would train in all of that before we hire people. We don't dismiss it. Well, if you can't make it, then you can't make it, right? We don't just look at it like that. We say, well, what is it? What's going to be required to give him or give this individual enough chance to make it in this company?
When you talk about an organization looking at an applicant pool where it's a lot of temporary work, the idea then is you're going to have a ton of turnover that you have to constantly replace, which we know costs the business more to replace someone than to keep them, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's interesting to hear about those cultural changes designed to retain employees. And I know you talked on this a little bit earlier, right? Would love to hear more about kind of your experience in the value of creating a culture that retains individuals and how even giving them value in the company itself.
And so one of the things we wanted to do, we have this kind of one team spirit. So at a production level, I know that we have to kind of give individuals enough incentive to want to be here. And it's not just a pay. I've had many people walk out, Chris. I've had many people leave a job because of the way they were treated at the job. If I encourage an individual, and if I listen to them, right? Sometimes they have ideas. They're working on a project. They're working over in the area all day long, 24 for all week, 8 hours a day for 40 hours a week. They know the system. They know what's going on here, right? So if they have an idea about it, I need to listen to that. Just because I'm a boss or because I'm a supervisor, I'm a manager, I'm not going to dismiss that. No, let's listen to it. Let's see if something workable. So we give them value like that. We, first of all, by giving them voice. And when you do that, this is what happens. They may have challenges making it. You know what? They're going to try extra hard to make it in because they don't want to let the system down. This is the system that supported them when they had difficult times. So they want, it creates loyalty within them.
How have you even seen this community change over the years in terms of even its readiness to be able to support an organization like Viridi?
One of the things that a company like Viridi does for an area like the east side of Buffalo is give the residents hope where there was no hope. So many things are going on that's against them, and here's an opportunity for a person to make it themselves, to rely on their own abilities, to make it where they can kind of pay rent, they can pay for a vehicle, they have transportation, and they have this sustainable income. That makes all the difference in the world to a lifestyle in terms of the way person perceives life, and that encourages the community and gives it hope. So when Viridi started, right, it's even changed the culture, changed the atmosphere in this community.
When you walk through here, right, and when you bring other people into these facilities, like, what is it that you want them to feel and believe about what's being built here?
It's not only the industry itself. That's groundbreaking. Just the concept of having this energy storage that you can use inside a complex, inside of an institution, right? And consider gas prices now. It's just a matter of time before this electrical energy begins to take over. I said, but one of the significant things is in here is about relationships. We want people to see. So it's not just about training the workforce. It's about training the management too, about them having a proper attitude of how to approach, how to give people power, how to give people a sense of value, and then how to challenge individuals, or if there's a problem, how to begin to resolve or resolve that. And so I serve as somebody that if there's a personality issue in any kind of way, then they have an outlet. Listen, I got a problem. I got an issue with the way I was dressed. I got the issue with this. Then they have somebody to talk to. So having that on site, right, and that's the role that I play, that's significant just in terms of creating an atmosphere. This is a good company to work for. And that's it. If you walk through here, you'll see everybody, they're not whistling Dixie, but they are content. You can see the content, you can see the dedication from each employee. You see the dedication and concern from management all the way up. You see that here. It's evidence, right? You can feel it here. See that one team?
Right.
That is what we're trying to produce.
Yeah. Why Buffalo, right? What's giving you hope for this community and what's being built here right now?
So Buffalo is unique. Now Buffalo has its share of problems. And listen, like I say, since 1975, I have been working programs for the city of Buffalo, for the youth. Very early on in my career, I helped to run youth programs. I even developed youth councils, and we had recreational outlet. We had more things that we could do with youth because the system at the time was concerned with youth. So we had centers that were open. We had playgrounds that were decent, that were open, right? And we had a number of youth participating. So we always had something for them to do. Buffalo has changed remarkably from a congressional viewpoint. They have failed to invest in that type of the extracurricular activities. The idea notion that Buffalo is full of love. You see that around tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo comes together like they give like no other city that I've been through, and I've been around a lot of cities, in the summer and at various times. But Buffalo come together and give like no other. But then after the event, after the tragedy, after it's over, once it's passed, then everybody go back to their corners, right? So it's that kind of separation, that still exists here. And so companies like this, like Viridi, is also a melting place to bring people together, right? And it's doing that, it's having that impact. Because if you begin to change the economic condition of a people, you're going to find people more willing to be more civic, have more pride in their community, have more pride in the way things are done, and you're going to see that impact. And we see really this company making that impact on this community now.
One of the things that I think I love most about 43 North is like that cross section of coming together, melting pot energy, kind of, right, meeting folks from different walks of life.
Yes.
Because those experience, it's what helps you walk in someone else's shoes, right?
That's
and
right.
that can be a game changer, not only for your personal relationships, but for a community in and of itself.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for your time, Pastor Giles. Before we wrap up, if there's someone who's watching who maybe is eager to join the program or wants to help, right? How can they reach you? How can they learn more about the program? What should they do if they're interested in it?
Greenforce.com.
Greenforce.com.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. looking forward to walking the floor, kind of learning more about what you guys do.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Chris.